What is good, guys? It's your girl, SIMPLEFX, your favorite female trader. Not in the best of moods for these last probably like 24 hours, I would say. Yesterday was a rough day for me in the markets trading. US 30 did me dirty yesterday after Monday was a really good day. And last week was a really good week. Who would have thought that elections would have, pumped the markets as much as they did and had everybody making money? But with good winning streaks, guys, comes like you just know that loss or that losing streak is like lurking. It's lurking around the corner. So you win some, you lose some. But this one really did me in because it was a massive loss that I took. Because I took this loss not only on one account, I took it on 3 accounts. I took this trade on 3 different accounts and I lost on all 3. And I just have to dig myself out of this hole that I put myself into, and not so much on my account only, but mostly mentally, because it's not so much the loss that really bothered me, guys. It's more how I lost, right? Because usually when I take losses trading, it doesn't really affect me that much because I usually follow my rules. Whenever I follow my rules and I do what I'm supposed to do and I still lose, I'm okay with the loss because I know I followed my rules and I stayed disciplined. But whenever I break my rules and I kind of go in aggressive, or I'm taking risky positions and doing things that I know I'm not supposed to do, or I'm not being as patient as I'm supposed to be, then that causes me to really take the loss, to heart. Because darn it, it's like, okay, it's one thing to take a loss, but it's another thing to take a loss breaking your rules, especially when you work so hard to stick to those rules and be as disciplined as possible, because my win rate is high because I stick to my rules. So whenever I don't stick to my rules, it shows. So let's get into this loss, this trade that took your girl out, guys. Took me out. I thought about it all day yesterday. I wasn't supposed to. I know we all, preach never to dwell on your losses. Don't let it linger too much. But this one really affected me. So I just want to go over it with you guys. This is going to be kind of a venting session and an educational session, so you guys can learn from my mistakes and to just get something positive, make something positive come out of this situation. Okay, so let's talk about it here. So this is US 30. So this was a setup that I saw today. We'll go over that in a second. And the reason why I have this highlighted here is because this is the exact setup that I was looking for yesterday. Literally exact. What happened today is what I was anticipating on happening yesterday. Okay, so let's talk about it real quick. So yesterday, US 30, we had a little bit of, well, it wasn't news. We didn't have news. It looked like news, but it wasn't news. Either way, we had this real big push here that took place at 820, 830, right? Price just shot up out of this consolidation range, right? Right after it did that, I'm anticipating a pullback. I'm anticipating price to come back to this area here of support, because I had a zone kind of marked down here. It's a little low. I had a zone right there. And I said, okay, cool. Price, respected. I got the bounce, price bounced. And then it pushed up out of this area. Perfect, cool. So now I'm thinking, I don't know why this happened or how this happened. This wasn't market open. This wasn't any news. I mean, it was really weird that US 30 did that at this time. So it pushed up and I'm thinking, all right, come on down. So we actually took sells, and this was me with my private live trade group. We actually took sells from this area, but I didn't hold the sells because I had a buy bias in my mind. So whenever the market is heavily bullish, let's move this down here. Whenever the market is heavily bullish, it's not smart to hold counter trend positions. So I wasn't going to hold a sell because I didn't know at what point the market was going to flip around and continue in its trend, especially since we haven't been getting the best in the way of pullbacks. So anyway, I'm looking at the markets like, cool. We pushed up out of nowhere. Maybe the market is just breaking out of this zone here, and we're going to come back and retest that area. Oops, wrong spot. So we're going to come back and retest that area. So I'm thinking, all right, but then the market stopped here, and then it just kept bouncing right here. It kept creating kind of a support right here, and price didn't want to break. I'm just like, how come we're not breaking to come back down to retest at least this area here for us to continue back bullish? Because that's what I was looking for. We didn't get that. So I'm thinking maybe we're not going to break bullish and we're going to continue up. So essentially when I realized, hey, especially this candle here, this candle really did it for me because it came down at market open. Market open at 9:30, it really wasn't much of anything. We didn't really push up, we didn't really push down, but we held, and then 9:35 hit, and then this candle came down and it waked up really hard. So I'm thinking, I don't think we're going to break that low. I don't think we're going to come back and retest this low. We're probably going to continue bullish from this area here. That's not typically my entry when I'm trading. When I trade, I look for price to come back to my key areas, which are right around here. So I'm thinking, this is going to be a very aggressive entry and a not so good entry either, because my stop loss is going to have to be, massive, So now I'm thinking, not a problem. I don't mind it because I had planned on holding this move. I planned on holding it. I don't know where, because we're hitting all-time highs on US 30. So you really don't know where it's going to go. But either way, I wanted to capitalize on the next move that was coming. Cool. But the problem is my patience wasn't enough because price pushed up and it continued pumping down. This candle rejected here and I'm thinking, okay, we're going to reject. Next candle is going to open bullish. It started pushing up a little bit. I went and jumped in and all it did was continue to plummet. Now I should have closed here. I should have closed right after it broke support, but I didn't because I'm thinking, okay, originally the move I was waiting for was for price to come down to here, this side, this area here. And then at that point, I would look for my confirmations to take my entries to ride it on up. But never happened. It came down, played around, and it continued to just drop after that. And I held my drawdown from here all the way to about there. And that was the loss, guys. That was the loss right there. Horrible entry, right? Horrible entry. Should have closed. Wasn't disciplined enough to close right when price broke here. Could have been a nice sell if I had held. Originally, my trade idea was to wait for this, and I probably would. Well, we don't know. I don't know if I would have won the trade because what price was doing here, I probably would have took buys because price came to my support. It bounced, gave me a bullish candle closure. At that point, I would have looked for my trade. So who knows? But either way, it was just bad. It was just a bad setup all the way around. I should have looked at the higher time frames and saw that price was not creating a major support zone. It was a support on the 15 and the 5, but not so much on the 30 and higher time frames. So price continued to drop, never came back to see the light of day. And that was that loss. So now fast forward to today's move, and today was looking just like the day before, right? Price was kind of bouncing, pushed up, and then came down. We have a bounce, push up, came down to retest this area that I have marked off with this zone here. And look what it did. It rejected that area and proceeded to fly after that, which is exactly what I was looking for here. So it was really like annoying. I won't say devastating, but it was annoying to watch because I'm like, damn, like this is what I was looking for yesterday. How come this couldn't have happened yesterday? Why did it drop the way it did? Because US 30 was so very bullish, guys. I refused to look for sells at all. I was super stubborn with the buys because we have been so damn bullish. And normally, I don't mind looking for counter trend setups because I'm a scalper. That's what I do. I trade both sides of the market. But because I've taken losses like that before, I'm like, no, I'm not going to be stubborn. I'm going to look for the buy because right now everything is saying buys. Price is holding this support here. You got to look for buys unless it breaks. And it did break. And I couldn't capitalize on it. So today it did just that. Today it did just that. Price bounce, pushed up, retested super nicely, and then continued to push up. And it just, today was a good win. I took sells with my group today, and then I jumped in for the buys also after. But it just sucks because I have to dig myself out of this mental hole that I'm in, because what happens is when you take a big loss, guys, even though everyone preaches, don't let the losses get to you, don't revenge trade, don't this, don't that. At the end of the day, we're still human. We still have to face it, and we still are thinking about that loss to some capacity, So it's difficult. So today, Took some sells and some buys, and I'm still in the hole. I'm still in the hole here, 9,500. This account was much higher yesterday than it is today. That one and the other two accounts that I'm using, because I'm trying out two different brokers. I didn't take it on the other two brokers that I'm trying out, but on this one and my futures broker were the two that I took the losses on. And then there was one more, but that loss was small. It wasn't, anything like these losses. But either way, today I took one position today, one position when I normally would have taken two, and that was that. So the thing about it, guys, is you really want to pull yourself out of a funk, right? This isn't a losing streak. It's not like I lost. This is one loss, okay? But to pull yourself out of that funk, the best thing that you can do is to stack up as many wins as possible. As many wins as possible. The more blues that you see compared to red, it does something to you psychologically. So your confidence kind of takes a hit. Emotionally, psychologically, you take a hit. So the only way to kind of pull yourself out of that, obviously letting time go by, giving it a few days, few weeks even, depending on how bad the loss was. Just try to get as many wins as you can. Reduce your risk, take profit quickly, take what the market gives you, kind of get back to what you were doing before, because I've kind of been pushing my boundaries, however you want to say it, for the last few weeks now, trying to catch bigger moves, trying to maximize my profit potential, diversifying my funds. I'm trying a lot of different things to end the year. So it's going to come with some bumps and bruises along the way, but a lot of times, we're all human. We all have feelings, we all have emotions. So it's going to affect you one way or the other. So guys, the best thing I can tell you to do is just take what the market gives you and try to be as disciplined as possible. And the best thing that comes out of a loss, guys, every time I take a big loss or I go on a losing streak, I always come out on top. I always bounce back. Because first of all, I've been trading too long. I've been taking wins and losses for so long. I already know how the cycle goes. That's number one. Number two is there's always another trade. There's always another setup coming. It doesn't end today. I still have money in my accounts. So as long as you preserve something in your account, you live to trade another day, then there's a possibility to come back. And I know I will come back from it. So dwelling on it is kind of thinking of it in a negative sense, where it's like, damn, how am I going to make it back? How am I going to recoup this loss? How am I going to get back, into the swing of things? When in reality, you can and you will if you just stick to it. The only time you won't is if you quit, you give up, you close up shop and you take off. But if you're still here and you come back, I came back today, we had a nice win today. Not as big, but hey, a win is a win. So the more you stack up the wins, the more you get back into it, the more you start seeing your pair give you the setup that you like to take and you're confident in taking it, it's not going to be as hard for you to come back from that. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because it's not easy. Trading never gets easy. I had somebody ask me recently, is it ever easy? Does it ever get to be like nothing? And no, it's not. It's really difficult. It's really hard. It's something you have to get up and push yourself to do every single day. It's not something that should be taken lightly. It's a great skill to have. It's going to open up a lot of doors for you. It's going to give you a lot of opportunities. It's going to make your life a lot better because you're literally printing money at will every day. But at the same time, it has its drawbacks. You have your own personal mental battles that you have to go through every day. Hitting buy or sell is not something that should be taken lightly. You have to analyze. You have to really understand what it is you're doing and what it is these markets are trying to tell you so that you can take the best trade and the highest probability setup so you don't put yourself in a bad place financially and mentally as well. Because you will lose a lot more mentally on the charts than you will actually on the charts. Money and all that, it's obsolete. It's paper. Like, it doesn't matter. You can take it or leave it. You can make money either. It doesn't matter. You can make money like this. But mentally, can you pull yourself back mentally? Can you continue to be mentally strong? Can you have that mental fortitude, that wherewithal for you to come back after taking a beating? Because a lot of people would break. A lot of people would quit and say, F this, I can't do this anymore, after they've experienced taking wins. You can't tell me that you've taken wins in the past and you let one or two losses deter you or break you. That doesn't even make sense. This trade that I lost could have easily been a winning trade if I would have been more patient, if I would have waited a little bit more in terms of okay, I need to follow my rules. I need to stay and be more disciplined. So let me just wait on that. Not thinking I'm going to miss the move. There's a lot of things I could have done differently to have changed the outcome of what happened, but it didn't play out in my favor, and that's going to happen. So look at the positives. Look at what you can learn from it. Look at what you can take from it. Understand that it's all part of the game. It's all part of the game. As long as you come back the next day, then you won. You ultimately, you might have lost the battle, but you won the war because you came back the next day and you didn't refuse and give up. All right, guys. So that's the best advice I could give when it comes to handling losses. Just don't get your head down. We had this loss and we bounced back and we came back with a win today. Tomorrow could be a win. The next day could be a win. And then this loss will be a distant memory. So keep that in mind, guys, and understand that you're human. We all go through the same emotions, whether you're a big time trader or a beginner trader or intermediate. It doesn't matter where you are on your journey or what level you're at. Just know that you're not alone. We all go through it. But the one thing we all have in common, the ones that are successful, is that we show up the next day. We come back ready to go the next day, and we don't think about what happened yesterday. All right? So y'all be good. Y'all be safe. As always, it's your favorite female trader, Charlene FX. And I'll catch y'all in the next trade. Peace.